Yo, what's going on, Crypto Nation and mining family? So, for anybody that's new here, it's like I kind of was like thinking of this one more off the cuff than anything else. I don't really have any notes written down on this one for any key topics on this one, but we're gonna shoot this one a little bit more from the hip, guys. A little bit more organic. So, why are you here? Why are you in crypto? These are things that you need to ask yourself sometimes. Why are we here? Do you understand the investment vehicle that you're a part of? Or are you just following the masses? With that being said, guys, let's dig in. Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family. Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo! So, why are we here? I know what got me prompted into this space 2 years ago. Them sick gains! I never saw any of that stuff. So, I had to kind of sit there and redirect my concept of why I wanted to get involved with this. Was I just following the masses? Did I understand what I was getting on board with? So, I understood a lot of what I was looking at. I knew that I was looking at the future. But as I sit there and I keep doing research, I keep learning new stuff. And one of the interesting things that I kind of came across here that kind of really blew my mind. So check this out. Boom. Have you ever heard of this? Digital cash? I had a great community member bring this to my attention. Being more of a mechanic, I do classic car restorations and stuff like that. Being like a late bloomer into the tech world, that has just utterly transformed who I am, for the better, I have to say. But this whole digital cash, now I could thank my man John Coyne for talking about this one a little bit. It got me to start digging a little bit more, and come to find out that they've been basically trying to figure out how to do a digital currency for a while. So for anybody who's new here, I got a little bit of information for all of you. So digital currency is a type of currency available in digital form. In contrast to physical, such as banknotes and coins, it exhibits properties similar to physical currencies, but can allow for instantaneous transactions. Sounds like Bitcoin. Borderless transfer of ownership. That sounds like Bitcoin. Includes of virtual currencies, cryptocurrencies, and central bank digital currencies. The last part, it was like, central bank digital currency control. These currencies may be used to buy physical goods and services, but may be restricted to certain communities, such as for certain inside online games or something like that. So it sounds like they're starting to try to talk about Bitcoin. Digital currency is a money balance recorded electronically on a stored value card or other devices. And a form of electronic money is a network allowing the transfer of value on computers, particularly the internet. Electronic money is also a claim on a private bank other than financial institutions such as bank deposits. Digital money can either be centralized, where the central point of control over money supply, or decentralized, where control over the money supply can happen from various sources. So that last little part, so the central control of digital money, A lot of people already use it. When was the last time you swiped a credit card? Central control of digital assets. I mean, they've been trying to sit there and digitalize money for a while, it looks like. So, in 1983, a research paper by David Chum introduced the idea of digital cash. Now, if you guys are wondering where I'm referencing this, guys, from, it is from Wikipedia. I will leave the links in down below. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. They've got a plethora of knowledge up in here. So, but I did like the idea of the beginning portion of this. It was really good and informative. So, a research paper by David Chum introduced the idea of digital cash. In 1990, he founded DigiCash, an electronic cash company in Amsterdam, to commercialize his idea. It filed for bankruptcy in 1988. E-gold was the first widely used internet money, introduced in 1996 and grew to several million before the, wait for it, the U.S. government shut it down. Can't have anything competing with the dollar. Users of e-gold mailing list used the term digital currency to describe their pure payment in various instruments. In 97, Coca-Cola offered buying from vending machines using mobile payments. PayPal launched its USD-denominated service in 1998. In 2009, Bitcoin was launched. We'll give that up. So, which marked the start of a decentralized blockchain, digital currency with no central server, no intangible assets held in reserves, also known as cryptocurrency. Blockchain digital currencies proved resistance to attempts by government to regulate them because there was no central organization or person with power to turn them off. This is a key point. And that, you know, it's like in any time that you can walk up to somebody and threaten them, they're going to do stuff. Sorry, you know. And that kind of brings me back to, back up, wrong button. Brings me back to this. So, digital cash. Digital cash aims to mimic the functionality of paper cash. Check this out. So, they've got the bank, issue of digital cash to person A. Digital cash can be sent to person B. So this is like, you know, elimination of the paper dollar, and then then you can transfer back into your bank. Now, there are a few issues with this model, but before I get into that, let's keep on sitting there and seeing how close this actually is to that busy Bitcoin, guys. So, secure, you know, Alice should be able to pass digital cash to Bob without either of them, without either of them or others being able to reproduce the electronic token. So, they're talking about counterfeiting. So, nobody should be able to counterfeit the digital assets. Okay, it's got to be anonymous. Well, I don't see how in this setup that anybody is really anonymous, because everything is still settled in the bank. So, anonymous, this system is not. But you know, they want to be able to pay person A to person B without exposing each other. But they have to let the bank know that it happened. So either way, the bank gets involved with this. Two-way peer-to-peer payments are possible without any third-party intermediary. We can already do that with cash. So I mean, there was issues with this model. widely acceptability. Didn't take off, so I didn't get that. There was no adoption, I guess you would say, right? And it had to be user friendly, and that's something that why a lot of people still use cash, because it is easy to use. You get it handed to you by the bank, and you can hand it to somebody else immediately, right? So they already knew that there was going to be issues with this model. So the person from the bank has to be linked into all the other banks. So all the digital currency on all the ledgers that are held at the bank have to be in agreement with all the banks. So now you have that central link control and central failure points. The user would still have to ask the bank for his money every time. He'd be able to load up a card or his digital wallet with as much money as that he would request, but he would still have to request it from the bank. And this also poses some other huge flaws from the way that I understand it. If I can sit there and there's no way for a bank run to ever happen because there's no real physical cash being handed out, so the bank themselves can infinitely print money. Okay, so now user A gets money from his bank and he wants to pay the merchant. Well, he sends the money to the merchant, but there's nothing in between the user A and user B to know that the transaction was not fraudulent, double spent, all that good stuff that Bitcoin solves, guys, in every which way, shape, or form. So that's where they have to sidechain it. So basically, the user puts it into a temporary device of some sort, transmits it to the merchant, and then the merchant immediately has to settle with his bank. Immediately. He can't just hold on to that digital currency in his own wallet because it's unverified transactions at this point. Although that he just saw a transaction happen, until the bank can settle the transaction, it has still yet to happen. So we still have central points of control here. And then you start running into a thing of it's not anonymous, because that means the bank has to give the user A coin that's basically has a special serial number that's been given to him and that cannot be reproduced. So they've got to basically make a cryptographic key that the bank is issuing and keeps on its ledger that it gave to you. And then you can give it to anybody you'd want, but none of that is settled until the bank verifies that it's moved to somebody else's payment structure. When it comes down to that, that means they are in 100% control of how the economy moves. This is dangerous play for anybody to try to pitfall themselves into whenever you give those with power, those in control more power, they get drunk. And that would mean that the banks would start just infinitely printing money, start manipulating people, turning accounts off if they didn't like them, blah, 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 blah. This is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible in every which way. I mean, for people who are using currency, there is a reason why this failed. They could not prevent double spending. Could not. I can make a digital copy and give the copy out real quick to 3 different places and take goods from them. Now what? Because, you can't sit there and verify. Again, that's something that Bitcoin has elegantly solved through mining, anonymous mining, the greedy miner, you know. So basically the miners themselves are being incentivized to secure the network with rewards. Something that the banks wouldn't want to give up that kind of control, guys. I mean, think about it. The banks giving up control over the ebb and flow of currency. I'm sure they weren't really happy with the idea of PayPal and other credit card companies being out there because it took away some control to a point from them. The banks were able to make regulations that even the credit card companies had to follow. And, well, guess what, guys? The credit card companies still settle all their stuff at their bank. So you all have to realize that banks are at the center point of a lot of the issues going on with the markets today. They are the ones making bad loans. They're the ones that are getting free money basically printed by the government right now. Because the repo market, the banks don't trust lending money over to each other, not even for overnight. Imagine that, right? And this is some of the reasons why Bitcoin is going to kind of prevail in the long run, because of the fact that you have no centralization on this stuff, and it just solves all the issues that the banks are causing with themselves, and them not being able to figure out even how to not have double spending at right now. They've got, and this is something that was on the top of my head earlier today, and I wanted to talk about it too. They're having an epidemic with the super bill. Have you guys heard about that at all? Oh my gosh. So there's somebody, they can't figure out who, where, or what. There's somebody that's making counterfeit $100 bills right now that you will not be able to tell the difference on. It takes like engineers under like microscopes and stuff, high-powered microscopes, to look at the bills in comparison with each other to find the minute little flaws that they have. And there's a couple of them in there, but you do the little marker test and they pass. You look at it, you feel it, it's got the right feel in there, it's got the little magnetic strip in there, it's got everything is correct. You will not be able to tell the difference on these $100 bills. But you want to know what I can tell the difference on? What Bitcoin's which Bitcoin? It's all verified on the blockchain. Something that the dollar bill cannot do in any way, shape, or form. That's why they have counterfeit money now. So not only is the U.S. government in collusion with the Fed illegally printing that money by making fake currency, but it's their fake currency, so it's okay, guys, right? And then they're in competition with some random person in the world creating fake currency too, of our own. Holy cow. And is it affecting Bitcoin? Nope. Why? Because you can't counterfeit Bitcoin. You can't make more than 21 million ever. So that makes that sound money to me. This makes the dollar bill look very poor in my eyes. And with that, guys, what's your thoughts? Got any comments or any comments of any sort? Drop some in down below. Let's continue this conversation. What's your thoughts? Give them away. And while you're sitting there looking down there, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, share this video with other people, and hit the bell notification. And with that, guys, I will definitely see you on the next one. And of course, all my links will be down below. Peace.